Good morning, children. Today we are talking about chapter number 2 in history, kings, farmers, and towns. So, here we are talking about the early states and economies. Is that clear? Because before this chapter we read about the Harappan civilization. In that civilization, because we already come to know about from the things, evidence which we found from after the excavation. So, several developments took place in different parts of the subcontinent after 1500 years of end of the Harappan civilization. These include composition of Rigveda, emergence of agriculture settlement, new mode of disposal of the dead, emergence of new cities, etc. Is that clear? So now here we are talking about the inscriptions. First of all, I want to tell you about the mean of inscription. It means anything else written on the hard surface. Mean to say any script written on the hard surface, that was called inscription. So inscription is also a evidence from where we come to know about all these kind of the things. We come to know about all the things. Second thing, evidence is text. Another evidence, coin. Then visual material are different source which with the historian try to understand the development of this age. Is that clear? So next is inscription of Ashoka are mainly in Brahmi and Khroshti script. These scripts were deciphered by East Indian Company official James Prinsep. If we ask the question who is the James Prinsep, then you can say that he is the officer of East India Company who decipher mean to say understand, who understand the Brahmi and Khroshti script. Is that clear, students? So here we are talking about the it gave the new direction of Indian history. When he understand these kind of the script, after that he gave new ideas, new directions for the people. So the 6th century BC is generally considered as a major turning point in the early Indian history. This era is associated with the early state of cities, the increased use of iron, the development of coinage, etc. The era also saw the emergence of different systems of thoughts, including Buddhism and Jainism. On those days, these two kind of the thoughts or emerge over here, and people followed such kind of the religion. So there is a mention, because at that time they use some text in their religion. Now we are talking about the Mahajanpad. First of all, I want to tell you the meaning of Mahajanpad. Maha mean big, Jan mean people, Vada mean places. So Mahajanpad mean big places, mean to say it's kind of state like nowadays. So how could we know about that? Because there is a mention of 16 states in Buddhist and Jainist texts called Mahajanpad. Yet the list of these Mahajanpad varies in different texts. 16 Mahajanpad's list is different from each other in Jainism and Buddhism, But a few Mahajanpads are similar in both the books, like Vachi, Koshala, Magda, Kuru, Gandhara, Panchala, and Avanti. Frequently, many events occurred over there. So that's why we come to know about that. Is that clear? Magda emerged as most powerful and important Mahajanpad between 6th to 4th century. Magda is the very important and powerful Mahajanpad between the 6th to 4th century. 6th to 4th century. Why it was very important? Because there were few reasons. There were few reasons. The one reason is behind this, like huge iron reserves over there, availability of elephants, cheap and convenient communication, ambitious and kings also there. So that's why it's very, very important.